Okay, so here we are in the kitchen again. Got it configured just a little differently. Today, we're going to make some homemade relish. And by homemade, I even mean homemade pickles. These are my favorite pickles in the whole world. Passed down from my grandfather, went down to me. But we don't want all that pickle juice. We want the pickles. So let's drain these pickles. Alright. So we've got one empty jar. And 2 empty jars. Okay. We're going to make some relish. We're also going to make some tartar sauce. So the first video I'm going to do is about relish. And I want to show you something about these pickles. This doesn't look like a pickle. It's because it's homegrown. The pickles you find in the store, the cucumbers you find in the store, they were all nice and long. Beautiful cylindrical shape. But sometimes they grow nicely. Sometimes they're misshapen. These don't taste any worse than these. They don't taste any better. They taste the same. So, a little secret. They don't throw these away when these are picked. These go off to be chopped to become the pickles that are going to be in your pickle relish. They save the nice pickles for putting in the jar. But you know what? Today, what we're going to do is we're going to chop them up all together because I have a whole lot of pickles. Alright. So, we're going to use the KitchenAid mixer. I've got the shredder attachment. If we used a food processor, it would pretty much make puree out of this, and we don't want that. We want bits and pieces of pickle for our relish. So let's get to it. So, turn this thing on. Turn it on at about a medium or a low speed. Drop that in. So, I need to increase the speed on these. And we'll go one at a time. There we go. Because it's relish, we're not really looking for perfect squares. Oh, there we go. We got a live one there. Alright, so let's pull some of this out. Alright. So, bring these a little closer in so you can see them. We've got a lot of juice, but also we've got a lot of shredded cucumber. Alright, looks a little less than appetizing, and that's fine, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. So let's try some of these wedges. Let's see if we can get some nicer pieces out of it. In reality, it doesn't matter. We're going to drain the juice off these anyhow. Alright, so here we go. Alright, I'm going to pause the video. Slightly messy task. I'm going to go ahead and shred the rest of these fine pickles. Oh, you should taste these. Of course, this one's not going in relish. It's going in my belly. These are the best pickles ever. Listen, it doesn't matter which pickles you choose. Make them your own. Buy them from the store. Get a gift from a friend. It doesn't matter. But just pick a pickle you like and know that you're going to get a lot of juice out of them. But you do want them slightly dry. You do want your pickle pieces slightly dry when you make your relish, because we're going to add other things to it. So when we come back, that's what we'll be doing. So I'm going to take a pause right here, and we shall be back. Okay, so we're back. Now, the pickle juice that came out of the pickles is going to be just like the brine that it was in. So let's find out how much pickle mass that we have. So I'm just gonna, again, strain this into the colander. Okay, give it a little toss. It's kind of like free up the juice, because we don't want to end up with soup. We want to get the free liquid to drain away. Now we don't want to squeeze the pickles and squeeze out the juice. We do want some juice in the pickles. But let's see how much we got. So I am going to weigh my bowl. I could zero this with the bowl on it, but I think it's going to take more time to transfer the pickles to the bowl than the time allowed before it times out. So right now we have 898 grams. That's how much the bowl weighs. 898. So, wanting to keep this clean, work surface as we can. A lot of times a serving spoon would be ideal if we had a large amount. Might even use a scoop. However, I wash my hands and I am wearing gloves, and this is the most efficient way of transferring pickle mass. So we had 898, and now we have 1670. So if we do a little bit of math, here we go. So we have 1898. I'm sorry, 1668 minus 898. I'm assuming everybody understands how to do subtraction. Otherwise, grab a calculator. So, all right. So we have a total of 770 grams. I do everything in the metric system when I cook because it makes the math a whole lot easier. Most chefs like the metric system for this reason. So we have 770 grams. Well, here's the thing. I want to use some of this pickle to make relish. So I'm going to divide this in half. Right. So half of 898 is going to be 449. So if we take the 1668 that we start with, oh my bad, we take the weight of the bowl, which is 898 grams, and we add to that half of the 770. That gives us, well, half of 700 is 350, and then we have half of 70 is 35, so 350 plus 35 is 385. So 8 plus 5 is 13, 10 plus 8 is 18, 9 plus 3 is 12. Okay, let me show you how I did this. We have the weight of the bowl. We have half of the amount of pickles. So if I take pickles out of this bowl, when I reach 1,283 grams, because I have 1,668 total grams right now, when I take pickles out and I get to 1,283 grams, I know I've removed half of the pickles from the bowl. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to set those pickles aside. So, makes no sense to dirty another dish when that just was clean and we put pickles in it. So let's get some fresh gloves. And once we've gotten the pickles out, then we're going to take some paper towels and clean the area, because you should clean as you go. But there's always the chance that we could spill more juice, so I'm going to wait. Alright, so I need to get to 1,283 grams. Okay. Oh, see, there we go. Spilt some. 1450. Let's do this. So, okay, still not quite there. I'll take another big handful. All right. We have 1226 in the bowl. Let's add some back in. 1246. We're almost there. 1250. 1270. Another 13 grams to go. 1272. 1280. 1286. 1282. There we go, 1283. We have divided the amount of pickles perfectly. All right. We're going to set this aside. I'm going to set the juice aside. We don't need this here. It's in our way. Clean as you go is not a chore. It's part of the job. You need a clean work surface. Okay. Never just brush food off onto the floor. I don't care if you're going to sweep and mop in just a moment, or if somebody's going to come along and do that. It is disrespectful to your working environment. And if you lack respect for your working environment, that will show in the quality of your food. All right. So, I'm going to zero this out because I have 385 grams of pickles. I'm going to put half of that amount in my favorite Italian dressing. You can make a nice vinaigrette from scratch, or you can buy a commercial. It doesn't matter. So 385 works out to be 192.5, but my scale doesn't do half grams, so we're going to do 193. So add that too. Just keep adding. Going, we're almost there. We're looking for 193. Almost there. Exactly, 193. And we want half of that amount in mustard. So half of 193, well, we don't do grams again, or we don't do half of a gram. So half of 194 is roughly 97. So we want 97 grams. So let me zero this scale out again. All right, now I'm going to add 97 grams of mustard. I could have put this in a bowl and used a spoon, had the right amount. What's the fun in that? Okay, we're looking for 97. Almost there. Okay. When working with liquids, have a roll of paper towels. Very important. Alright, I'm going to grab a spoon. And give this a nice stir. Now, I like to work on the cutting board that's on a full-size sheet pan. And the reason for that, if liquids were ever to spill, makes the cleanup so much easier. Alright, and then we just give it a nice stir. You could use a whisk. Get all these bits and pieces and shreds of cucumber will just get caught up in the wires. And really, a whisk does a nice job when you want to break pieces. So if you've got, lumps of a powder that you're dissolving into something, a whisk is your tool of choice. All right. So, let me grab a plastic spoon. We'll grab a few of those. Let's give this a taste. Okay, depending on how much flavor the pickle soaked up, will affect the flavor of your relish. Yeah, that is delicious. And if you'll notice, I'm not sticking the same spoon back into the relish. Oh yeah. I can live with that. All day long. I can live with that. Now the only thing to do at this point is package it. And we eat a lot of hot dogs and bratwursts and what have you. And this won't last long. Alright, I'm going to come on a little later with another video. We're going to take the rest of those pickles. We're going to make some nice tartar sauce out of it. Alright, this is all I got for right now.